if you sacrifice your principles in the building of a better future, the future that you built is not better.
Well, I think, this goes back to the bigger political question here, and I got to be careful what I talk about here, but it's very interesting to see the dynamics between corporate America, capitalism, and the government. And where do morals come into this, right? I think a lot of common sense and morality and the things that you would think the government is in place for, it kind of seems like it's quite opposite.
Well, I mean, specifically for someone like Sam Altman, right? So this is a guy who's, without a doubt, built his life around sci-fi that he apparently loves, right?
Yeah.
And what is the message of every, at least the biggest sci-fi trilogy of history, which is Star Trek, and certainly most other sci-fi, like the epochs, is basically to if you sacrifice your principles in the building of a better future, the future that you built is not better.
Right.
And he is without a doubt an accomplished technologist and businessman, engenders an immense amount of loyalty from his employees, but exhibits no evidence of principled execution of his vision.
Yeah, but do any of these corporations or companies do that? I mean, take Mark Zuckerberg, for example. We've all seen The Social Network. We all know what happened.
That's a bad example. We know that Zuckerberg has no principles, like he's a slave to the dollar. But let's talk about a topic that we do talk about a lot, which is Web3, crypto, and Bitcoin. It's nothing but principle execution, right? And so there is a gold standard to compare Altman to.
Yeah, I think the ethos of what Bitcoin is for these principles. And I think that is a big reason why we do not know who Satoshi Nakamoto is. But at the end of the day, you're all good. At the end of the day, I think the biggest problem here is the human aspect of it, right? It's never the tech. It's always the humans that are in the way to ruin it. And with like Bitcoin, for example, it concerns me to think that Satoshi could have been someone else. Someone that, what I'm trying to say is Satoshi's anonymous for a reason, right? We have no idea who it was, but the whole point of him being anonymous was for keeping up a certain set of principles and a certain set of privacy and, positive net benefits to the creation of Bitcoin. With people who are in the industry to make money and who are just here to, run a corporation, it's very different. Sam Altman has an agenda, and he's going to do whatever it takes to meet that agenda, whether that means that his AI is used for good or used for bad.
Okay, but I still don't buy it, right? Because his agenda is to create like this Shoggoth god that ushers humanity into a golden age. You're telling me that this Shoggoth god is not going to learn from its CEO how to behave immorally in the advancement of its goals? That's the absolute wrong example. Like, if we're going to play the science fiction game of leadership, like it's basically like, every fantasy story about a king ever, like, Game of Thrones, like that's not a character in that show that isn't morally repugnant. And it only gets worse the further generations you go down the line. That's essentially what we're talking about here.
Yeah, I think that applies 100% to everybody that's working on AI right now.
Hey, thanks for watching The Merge. We've got a ton more stuff for you to watch on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok, everywhere. Check us out.